What kind of idiot points a gun at a woman on her own porch, not knowing she's the county sheriff? I'm still shaking my head over it, because that's exactly what happened to my wife, Sheriff Laura Bennett, when some wannabe HOA cop thought he could bully us in our new neighborhood. This guy, strutting around with a shiny badge and a pellet gun, had no clue he just stepped into the biggest mistake of his life. Let me tell you how it went down, and trust me, it's a wild ride. We'd barely been in Maple Grove 5 days, still tripping over MOVYing boxes in the garage, when the first note showed up. It was this garish orange slip taped to our mailbox, screaming, "Notice of non-compliance, mailbox pained out of regulation shade. Fix it in 72 hours or face a citation," it said, stamped with some nonsense logo for the Maple Grove Community Safety Board. No phone number, no contact, just pure audacity. I stood there, coffee going cold, wondering if this was a prank or someone's idea of a welcome. Laura found me staring at it, raised an eyebrow, and said, "They got a problem with our mailbox? We just got here." She skimmed the note, smirked, and tossed it on the counter. We laughed it off, figuring it was nothing. Big mistake. 2 days later, another slip showed up. "Vehicle violation, driveway parking obstruction. Fine, due law 125. Laura's SUV was parked dead center in our driveway, not blocking anything, not even close to the sidewalk. I half joked, "Did we move into a gated cult by accident?" Laura didn't laugh. She was already on her laptop, pulling up our deed. Her eyes narrowed as she scrolled to the fine print, saw this property is not subject to any active homeowners association. Saw I whistled low. "So who the hell is this community safety board?" Laura didn't answer, just saved the deed as EVY_no HOA.pdf, and got that look she gets when she smells something rotten. She's been sheriff for years, youngest in county history, and when she goes quiet like that, someone's about to regret something. The next morning, I was out front trimming the hedges, trying to make the place feel like home, when I caught this guy across the street snapping photos of our garage with a telephoto lens. He had a badge on his chest, a radio clipped to his belt, but something was off. His boots were too clean, his badge too shiny, like he'd ordered it from a costume shop. He saw me watching and swaggered over, chest puffed out. "Afternoon," he said. "I'm Officer Tate with the Maple Grove Community Safety Board." I wiped sweat off my brow and gave him a fake smile. "Didn't know we had one of those." He flashed a laminated card with an expiration date from 2021, 4 years expired. "We handle compliance, community harmony," he said. "You've got violations. We'll need to inspect your garage." I laughed, straight up laughed. "Not happening, pal. Unless you've got a warrant or a time machine for that badge, you should leave." His eyes narrowed. "Non-cooperation noted," he said, scribbling on a pad before walking off. I locked the door and told Laura everything. She didn't laugh. She pulled up a county land use map, cross-checked it with our neighborhood plat, and called the county clerk. I called a friend in code enforcement. Both confirmed it. No HOA, no registered neighborhood watch, nothing. This safety board was a ghost, a complete fraud. "This is impersonation of authority," I said. "Harassment too," Laura added, starting a document titled Safety Board _ Initial Report. She had that glint in her eye, the one from her days busting corrupt officials. "Let's play along," she said. "Make them think we're clueless. You set up cameras. I'll start a log." That night, we had 4 motion-activated cameras up, one above the garage, one in the eaves, one by the mailbox, and one hidden in a porch lantern. Laura printed every violation notice and started a whiteboard timeline in the basement. By day 4, we caught Tate again on camera, strolling onto our porch like he owned it, measuring our hedges, snapping pics of our trash bins. He left another orange slip. "Final warning, non-compliant landscaping." I watched the footage 3 times, zooming in on his badge cheap aluminum, reflecting our porch light. Laura froze the frame on his radio. "That's not police issue," she whispered. It's a bow phone, unregistered. She leaned back. He's not just faking an HOA. He's faking law enforcement. My arms prickled. That's a felony. She nodded. And he did it on our property, on camera. We backed up the footage to a secure drive. 2 days later, another guy showed up, trying to photograph our backyard through the fence. Laura started mapping the incidents: mailbox, parking, landscaping, trespassing. Same fake language every time: saw community safety mandate, violations, saw all dressed up to look legal. They're banking on people not questioning it, she said. They picked the wrong house. I grinned, but her smile was cold, the kind she gave suspects right before they realized they were done. They came back on a Sunday, no knock, no courtesy, just traffic cones, clipboards, and a megaphone like we were squatters. I was trimming hedges when a rusted SUV backed across our driveway, tossing cones onto the concrete. A voice blared through a squeaky megaphone. Attention, homeowners. This property is under inspection by the Maple Grove Community Safety Board. Remain inside. Laura stepped onto the porch, dish towel in hand, blinking like she'd heard a dog order pizza. Are they for real? She muttered, but her voice was sharpening. 3 guys piled out of the SUV in tactical pants and polos that screamed militia cosplay. Tate was in the middle, clipboard in hand, flanked by 2 clowns with earpieces plugged into nothing and belts loaded with laser pointers and walkie-talkies. I walked up, phone recording. You're blocking my driveway. Tate raised his clipboard like it was a court order. We have a legal right to inspect non-compliant properties. You've violated hedge height, trash bin storage, and unauthorized signage. The signage was a tiny, welcome plaque Laura got at a craft fair. There's no HOA, I said. You're trespassing. One of his goons stepped forward. Sir, I need your ID. I blinked. For what? Failure to comply with community enforcement. Another guy, with a chest rig full of pens and a sketchy pepper spray canister, started filming me, muttering. Subject appears agitated, possibly armed. I held up my pruning shears. Really? Laura leaned against the porch railing, calm as ever, watching Tate reach for his badge. That's when she saw it, a cheap knockoff of her sheriff's badge, with a 6-point star instead of 7, a reversed eagle, and the wrong font. They weren't just faking authority, they were mimicking her SAW department. Laura's eyes narrowed, not mad, but calculating. You boys always flash that on private property? She asked, sweet as pie. Tate puffed up. This badge gives me authority. She smiled. Interesting. We let them dig deeper. They measured our porch, took more photos, and handed us a fake community code book, with no author or date, just threats. That night, Laura said, they're impersonating my badge. That's a second-degree felony, maybe extortion if they're scamming others. And they were. Neighbors started talking. Ellen, 2 doors down, paid $154. Excessive porch lights. Jim got fined for a football flag. A family was tagged for their kids' trampoline. These weren't just fake rules, it was a grift targeting retirees and scared families. Laura set up an encrypted drive, archiving every document, photo, and neighbor statement, blurring faces but keeping the fake enforcers' names: Tate, Larson, Vaughn. The fake citations kept coming, now by mail, citing made-up statutes like Maple Grove Code 14.3b. We check pure fiction, Laura said. Time to crash their meeting. The safety board held monthly sessions at an old rec center, left over from a defunct HOA. We walked in, folding chairs and a projector humming. Tate leaned against the wall, smug. The board president, a slick-haired guy named Victor Hayes, droned about new rules, vehicle restrictions, fence heights, monthly inspections. I raised my hand. Who gave you authority for this? Hayes blinked. We're the Community Safety Board. Elected by whom? Laura asked. He bristled. We're volunteers maintaining order. Laura held up a photo of Tate's fake badge. Then explain this. The room froze. Tate stood. We don't answer to CIVY liens. Laura smiled. I've got a problem with that. Tate stepped forward, reached for his belt, and pulled what looked like a gun, later confirmed as a pellet gun, but it looked real, and pointed it at Laura. Back up. Meeting's over. Chairs scraped. Someone screamed. I froze, but Laura took one step forward. I'm Sheriff Laura Bennett. Put the weapon down, Tate. His jaw dropped, the badge in his hand looking like a toy. You're lying. Want to test that? She said. My dispatch is on speed dial, and they're waiting. His hand shook, and the gun hit the floor with a pathetic clack. Laura stepped past him, grabbed the projector remote, and shut it off. This board is dissolved. Now. She radioed dispatch. Sheriff Bennett at Maple Grove Rec Center. Suspect impersonating law enforcement, possibly armed. Request backup. Within 10 minutes, real deputies swarmed in, cuffing Tate and bagging his pellet gun. They found fake IDs, a resident, threat level, roster hours had 9 infractions, including spouse may be impersonating officer. Laura smirked. That's a new one. The board president, Hayes, was tied to a PayPal account collecting $32,000 in fake fines. A van behind the center held boxes of violation slips and a binder with escalation protocols, including tactical deterrence, like displaying weapons. It was a full-on racket, preying on fear. Laura held a town hall a week later, in full uniform, badge gleaming. The parking lot overflowed. She laid out the scam: fake badges, illegal fines, extortion. She showed a violation issued to an 84-year-old for a noisy wind chime, threatening a compliance lockout. The crowd's anger was palpable. Every victim will get restitution, she promised. This isn't over. Neighbors lingered, sharing stories, no longer scared. Within weeks, 3 arrests were made, 5 faced CIVYL penalties, and the fake PayPal was frozen. Tate's perp walk went right past our mailbox, where he'd once taped a final warning. Laura framed it, hung it in her office with "Nice try" stenciled above. Now porch lights stay on later. Blinds stay open. We had a block party. Freedom from Fines Friday. With Laura's cookies and my AC/DC playlist. No violations, just laughter. Kids call her Sheriff of Suburbia. And she doesn't mind. That framed notice says it all: mess with the wrong sheriff, and you'll end up a legend for all the wrong reasons.